Well, I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Nah, let's not do it. It's too
Let me
chaotic.
ping once more for this.
I mean, we can, but it's gonna turn into a mess. Huh? Leo is. I don't know where he's.
What's up? Just company announcements.
All right. Treasurer Fabit, are you present? Mr. Fabit? Since he is the temporary official unofficial speaker, I was gonna have him present us, but MLG, you could do it as well. All right.
You like a split screen thing on Instagram.
Uh,
Oh, Candidate Never Legacy is joining in too, it seems.
Gentlemen.
Oh, we gotta change it up now.
welcome. Welcome.
Yeah, I will change the.
It
Change
appears
topic.
all candidates are ready to debate except Crusoe. Keeps
Wait, who's were?
evading it.
There are 5 candidates, right? We're missing them.
Simply
Neon.
proves Crusoe's worth.
Neon and Crusoe's who were missing.
Oh, yeah, Neon. That's the one.
Yeah, he's also running, I guess.
Harris first.
Or what?
Bane is missing out on this one. Yeah. I think I'm gonna suppose this could be like a. I mean, I think it was a full debate from the beginning. So I mean, it's candidate versus candidate. Now we have another candidate in here. I don't know if Neon is maybe gonna join or Cruz is maybe gonna join, but
Well,
let's spice things up.
let's give it a minute or two, then we can officially start at like 25.
Actually, you might as well just ask at Neon, Exalted, or at Cruz. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean,
it's
there's
one
like
of
not
the
a whole
many.
week left, so.
It's one of many.
Newspaper, Trivial, Gazette. That's
It appears one candidate is dead and the other is too busy playing Deep Woken. Yeah. And I don't know.
See,
Guess-
this is why you don't want to
MLG.
vote for him.
Should we spam ping him in RR command? I can do that too. Yeah, Crusoe. Yeah. What the hell? Yeah, I don't think he's gonna react if he doesn't see this. Shall we just start? Go ahead, and if either of them join, then they just join in, I guess. Because it's also gonna apply for the European side. So.
All right, yeah. Let's have the moderators start. I mean, Fabit is dead, so go ahead. Well, no, I can just introduce us, and then I think it's gonna flow.
Three.
Hey, I wear Jean-Paul Gaultier. Respect me. Good.
Nope.
Who wants to go first? All right. Well, I'll just start off simple. Just gonna say hello, welcome to these first and unofficial, unplanned campaign debates.
Someone needs to clap.
All right. Well, instead of spamming the people with 20 plus campaign objectives and promises, I've funneled it down to only a couple of main ones, which I will expand upon as each debate and campaign rally progresses until slowly the election finally happens. I have a couple in mind. I don't have any written down, I have them all in my head. So I'd like to first start with, I think, my most important one. As Speaker of the Council, I would introduce bi-weekly Q&A sessions for the entirety of the SLC. Basically every 2 weeks on a Saturday, maybe Sunday, we would gather everyone interested with me and other council representatives, whoever they may be. And we'd have a 1 hour long Q&A session where every man, no matter his rank, is able to ask any questions, make proposals, plans, anything he wishes to say, he can. We're giving a voice to the people. a voice which will be heard. That's the main thing. Now, not only that, I plan to introduce more frequent and better quality SLC unique events. During my time as Colonel, I specialized in this. I hosted a couple of them, and I think they all went very well. What I did was I brought up a couple of ideas that people presented to me for an event that they thought would be interesting, had them vote on it, and the most popular one was selected. And then we'd switch it up. So that's something I definitely would want to see reintroduced. Now, we do have some unique events now, but I don't think it's enough. We could get more, create some unity in the SLC. 'Cause currently, these elections, like the past two elections, have been very divisive. The company gets split into 10 different, as many candidates as there are. Hate, anger is thrown out. It's something which could help unite the company and heal the wounds of division. Now, those were my main objectives that I proposed. There are a couple similar to my campaign enemies. I gotta say, Mr. Jason has some which I see as good, some which they're not plausible. We cannot get them in. I'll expand upon that later, but I'll just start off for now with my main two objectives, and then I'll mention the rest as this debate goes on. Thank you.
Sure, but before I repeat the question, I'd like to add on to what I've already said. When he mentions events as Colonel, one of the events instead was the Saber tournament. And during this time, I was the UBT instructor, an officer who participated in it because everyone had to pay to get into it. We were promised that all the funds would go to the UBT instructors, but none of them did. And why is that?
All right. Well, this is
Sure.
all right.
Standing on business.
Well, first thing I would like to do, but I mean, a lot of what Harris said, I also agree with. But to add on to that, I'm trying to think. Honestly, we have the exact same goal. I hate to. Let me see. I have nothing to add. I just like to go into Never Legacy.
I'm prepared. Instead of these candidates that are unprepared and do not know what to say during this time, I come prepared with the information you seek. I will not just lollygag and state the constant, oh, I'm going to add a tryout ping, which they copied from me, by the way. I am the originator from half the ideas that they bring up. I will propose multiple things to multiple different companies. I will constantly meet with the command members of these companies, talking face to face with them, building a relationship to see what their company needs to prosper and prevail. I will meet with their NCOs to see what they wish their command members to do, see what they want with their company, and with the overall group of SLC. I promise that anything brought up to me will be worked on no matter what it is. I do promise to be the speaker for everyone.
Alright, all to say. Cool. Anyone else?
I like.
Okay, the goals of the SLC now. Let's talk about finances. Since the budgets are sort of lacking, how would you gave everyone a safe opportunity in this certain economy, how would you supply and give people back to the community? Starting with Harris, how would you say?
All right. Well, first off, obviously, cooperation with yourself, the treasurer, is necessary. The budgets currently are horrible. They've been horrible for quite a while. I think we need a complete reorganization of how we do crate runs and how we make money, right? Uh, I will not get into development related stuff. I cannot say anything about the crates getting increased or anything, similar to that. That's just not something that the speaker can do. That's completely up to the developers. Not even Bane can do anything about that. So unfortunately, we can't increase the amount of money that the crates give. But I'm sure with the council, when they all get selected, and with yourself, we can form a tremendous plan on how to reorganize these crate runs. And finally, fix the budgets. Plus, find a reason why they're getting drained so fast. Which I mean, I already have something in mind. I think I know why, but I'll expand upon that later.
All right, cool. Now, Never Legacy, what would you say?
I believe we should mandatoриze crate runs among the command members. And with that, in return, they receive a charitable fund from the team of Northwind. A full paycheck for all members of the SLC. In return, they keep their budgets up.
All right.
Failure to keep the budgets up, no paycheck, and you lose your pay. You give us something, we give you something.
All right, cool. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Now, Jason, do you?
All right. The main issue with crate runs nowadays is most people don't feel bothered or motivated to do it because you can't see if they're in debt or not. They don't have any motivation to get out of debt unless they can't claim anymore, but they just rely on others. There needs to be a certain motivation for them to actually want to help the company and raise the budget, except for maybe just getting an award or anything. There needs to be an actual, like what Harrison never said, it needs to be mandatory. It needs something that you have to do. It's not an option. There should be a way that you can make sure that at least everyone in your company does it once a week, if possible. But basically, that's what I propose. As I can't get, like what they said, the developing stuff is out of reach.
All right, cool. I'm assuming that's everyone else. Good. Now, let's talk about foreign policy in general, mainly about France in general. How would you, using your diplomatic skills, maintain the foreign policy between other factions and with the St. Lawrence Company? Starting with Harris, what would you do?
All right. Well, this field I specialize in being the Lord Ambassador. Personally, I know a lot of the French High Command. Their governor has been a friend of mine for almost 6 years now. Friendly relations will remain, right? Currently, we have very friendly relations with France, with there being nation bars. We cooperate, we talk to each other, we have foreign ambassador roles, foreign relations, and we both have chats in each other's servers for the ambassadors to discuss. It's mainly used for the nation bars, though. So, what I'd like to see is a continuation of these uh, friendly relations with the French, right? But a healthy, they're gonna be a rival to us, right? It's friendly battles, friendly matches, raids, constantly. None of that would change. But I don't think it's necessary that we, have sour relationships with them and be toxic towards each other. So I definitely um, will make sure that these good relations with France remain.
All right, cool. Jason, to you.
All right. To good relations, you need to have constant, you need to talk to them constantly and keep himself updated. If you don't talk to them, they will eventually they will if they do something that you don't like, that's the end of it. You're not like ambassadors, you know. So I do think the role of an ambassador is, well, yeah, to talk, but more importantly, they need to be able to willing to trade stuff. They need to be willing to give, or to take to get themselves to agree on something. I I do feel that the recent addition of foreign relations do improve things like a lot, but I do feel there needs to be more communication between them because although I can't see it, it's pretty obvious that sometimes we can't always agree on the same thing.
All right. Now, Never, to you. What would you say?
Gentlemen, have you heard of any of the talks with France besides the events we plan on? I'd assume not, because myself personally, considering my rank, I haven't heard much besides the times they vote on these events. What I'd vow to do is publicize these conversations with the French. These men, they're not nice, they're still our enemies, but we have to continue these relationships to ensure peacefulness on the battlefield. Although we fight with these soldiers sometimes, we still need to work with them to ensure our company prevails over top. Conversations with them allow us to simply get an insight of what their plans are coming to us. Therefore, I will publicize this and give our members a word in what we plan on doing with these French members.
All right, cool. Now, when it comes to the cohesion with MFP and other companies, how would you correlate with the cohesion in general when it comes to the community across the SLC and the members of MFP? Because it is a hierarchy issue with MFP when it comes to the fines in general. How would you build back that reputation in general to, have that, trust between the MFP and the community of SOC, starting with Harris?
All right, well, the issues with MFB and transparency have been happening since SLC or HBC has first existed. Now, I think to improve these relationships between MFP and other detachments would be a complete reorganization of the fine system, who does it, who approves it, how they're done, and how they're reviewed. We need transparent fines, right? More thoroughly checked, more not, we're not just gonna have one MFP, they might have a bias against someone, they might hate someone, they fine them, they get their good buddy, like an officer in MFP, to approve it, and what happens? An innocent man gets fined, right? We're gonna involve several people in that process. I think it's the best way to prevent any unjust fines.
All right, cool. Jason, let's see you.
My opinion, MFP, the reason why many SLC distrust them is because many of them just try to find out any reason they can to find them. There needs to be a more it needs to be like if you do something very, very minor, there shouldn't be a main reason why you should have to find them to oblivion. There should be there's some MFP who intentionally go out of the way to be able to find people because they like doing it, and there needs to be there should be more discipline in finding. So there's sometimes the fines are necessary, sometimes it's unneeded, and then overall, MFPs need to talk more. Many people just view them as an enemy and someone you can distrust instead of someone you can go to if you need help with getting something or reporting someone. It just they need to they just need to have better relations because many of the issues can be solved with restructuring. I'm done, by the way.
All right, cool. Never Legacy, your turn.
As I was speaking about France with the transparency issue, this is a major issue when it comes to MFP fines. The MFP, they do not allow any proof to be sent out. Even the judge advocate, we do not allow to provide proof. When you get fined for absolutely no reason, say taking your hat off and you're like, when did I do this? Where's the image? And you didn't do it. They do not provide the proof of this. And the reason for that is because they're corrupt. All of MFP, corrupt. I vow that all the MFP we have now will stay in the positions, but the rulings on the MFP will be changed. Mandatorize proving every single fine, every single DD, everything related. We need more transparency at this company. If not, it's what's going to ruin us.
Would you like to expand on that question?
Wait, where did Fab put this down? Oh my. Yeah, skip it for now. Go for the next one.
Events in general. Well, I already talked about that on my main objective, so I don't think I gotta repeat it twice.
I think he meant with events in general, just maybe also like detachment level events.
Trainings, yeah. Well, if he does mean that, right. All right, yeah, he means that. So right now we got the basic ones. We got the combat trainings, these crate runs which are inefficient. They barely ever happen. Disciplinary trainings, they don't ever happen. Let's be real. Look, it's something. I can talk. Set up a meeting with the officers. Would set up a meeting with all of them. See what they think about it. What could be done to improve these events? What could be done? What could be changed? Why they might not work as efficiently right now, and set up a game plan on how to do future events. And I think throwing out disciplinary trainings is necessary. We shouldn't even count that as anything anymore. We have the current new system, similar to UBT, so those are not necessary anymore. Remnants of the old.
So by this question, you mean like events in general, like I feel as over time it becomes repetitive, less and less people like to attend them because they know it's gonna be the same thing. There needs to be more variety and different types of events other than just combat training, crate runs. There just needs to be different events that maybe try to get you towards the same goal, but in a different way. But other than that, yes, there needs to be more events. There needs to be some events need to be removed, like yeah, said discipline training. Some stuff is just it tends to help, but it doesn't help at all, and it just causes them to get worse. That's what I have to say.
Gentlemen, do you remember your first time in SLC when you attended that first combat training and you enjoyed it? That's what we need back. And that's what gets us involved. Our NCOs now, they aren't the best, but they aren't the worst. Half the time, the quota is what makes them lazy. We need to make these quotas easier. Although all these companies require all this activity and all of this and that, why? Why should we be doing that if it hinders our experience here? I believe quotas should stay, but I believe they shouldn't be as hefty.
Yeah, all right. Well, look, since I've been here for so long, I've seen governors change, lieutenant governors, countless colonels, lieutenant colonels, and I gotta tell you right now, during the entire history of the SLC or the HPC, leadership has never been better. They might not be perfect, they might do some things which you dislike, but from my experience, currently headquarter members, it's never been better. Even leadership, the governor Bain, he's very active, he's involved, he does positive changes. Same goes for Leo. And I think personally all the colonels are active enough, and the lieutenant colonels. I guess the only man in leadership which I don't see much at all. Sometimes forget he even exists. Is the Lord Marshal? I don't know. Maybe he does background stuff. I'm not involved in leadership. I'm just here as an ambassador. But I don't think the leadership is bad. I like the leadership. We could get them more involved with things. Maybe the lieutenant colonels and the colonels could get, you know, meetings with them, bi-weekly meetings, Q&As. We can force them to talk. But so far, I think they've been doing a great job.
I agree with most of what he said. The current leadership is definitely better than it has been, but there is stuff that still could be improved on. And I believe a lot of it comes down to any of the new people who come in. They usually do not have no clue who anybody above their major is, or lieutenant colonel, and they believe that a lot of people are just scared of them. They're even afraid to even like talk to them. They're afraid to ask questions, and it just views them as people they can't trust. I think they just need to get more involved with individual companies as well, so that more people can understand them and actually know that they're here to help, and they're not just in leadership because they need to keep you in line and punish you for whenever you do something wrong. I just think that although although the current ones are the best we've had, likely there could be more involvement with like the lower ranks and overall just companies because many people don't even know who they are, what they're like.
All right. As we all know, Governor Laz and Mesa File, if you ping them, where would you go? Away. You would be banned immediately. Bane, Rage, they're the most respectful governors we've had yet. Not only will they conversate with you if you speak to them, but they will embrace you and like accept you for who you are. They don't care what you are, where you come from, anything. They're accepting, they're careful, and they're involved. I've never seen any governor or lieutenant governor so involved with our grenadier guardsmen, working hand in hand with them to produce like proper content and amazing battles. I believe, though, this should be spread out among all the companies. As my time in 1C, the governor did call upon us a few times for help and assistance. I could not confirm this for any of the other companies, but I do believe this should happen more, because this gets us good relationships with our governors.
Right. Also, MLG, before like finish every question, it is getting late. I think we should also have an open discussion or debate after these questions. Well, maybe not all of them, but just the most important. What do you got? Cook. All right. Well, I've been in a couple of raids, not too many, since I usually miss them. Horribly unlucky, but usually from what I've seen, the raid leadership, it's pretty much the same all around. It's victories happen mostly due to over rallies, right? Same goes for the enemy. It's just who rallies more. There are some great, tremendous leaders in the SLC, which can win with lower numbers, but I don't think it's something we need to really expand upon. Uh, a great leader is born, in my opinion, not made.
Okay, so what most of you said, yes, it's true. Most of the raid leaders, they're either someone who's been here a while or someone who hasn't. Like sometimes I'm seeing sergeants lead, which is not an issue, but I feel like there needs to be a way for us to train many of the people who currently lead raids because, like what he said, it's based on over rally, not the actual leader itself. And I feel that many people don't even attend raids because they get yelled at by the raid leaders. I've had in my experience, I've had many rankers, especially like new privates. They attend a raid, and when they do something wrong because they don't know actually how to fight very well or listen to orders, they get yelled at and they leave the game and they don't attend raids. So I just think there needs to be better training and communication between the raid leaders and just the attendees overall.
Do you guys remember Ender Ragnar? The one who always won his raids. He was born. He is what it is to be a true leader. Although there are mixed opinions on this man for the things he's done and the things he has been doing, he was still a splendid leader. He was the best we've ever had, and that's what you guys can be. Opposed to Harris and what he said, members aren't just born, they can be made. You guys are more than just sheep in a battle doing nothing. You guys are all leaders. It's all if you take the time to learn.
And I think
Oh, that
I
sounds so
think
fake.
I think we can all agree that's just Fabit's retardation.
I,
Wall Street. All right. Well, when are we going to do the open debate first? I leave the Q&A for last. You're a horrible moderator. We should have the Lord of Yap Scuba do it. Well, can we start this open discussion? I don't think it should take too long.
Yeah, we'll just start with an open
Right.
discussion.
All right. Before I just want to start before I mention any of the other candidates present here. I think all three of us can agree on the cowardice of Mr. Crusoe.
I truly agree with that. Completely.
This man, right. This man has been evading every single rally debate. He's disappeared. He's too scared to come out, defend himself against the tremendous amount of proof. And look, I want to invite the other candidates. It is an open debate. You can speak while I speak. Throw your opinion in here. I think he's a coward.
Despite our differences, Harris, I do agree with you, and he's a coward. And the fact that I believe he got so many votes that he thinks he's just going to win by sitting and watching. He doesn't actually plan on jumping in and talking to people. All he does right now is he plays deep poker because he thinks he's going to win.
I agree with these gentlemen, but the main topic we should be talking about right now is Harris. Why should we vote someone in who in the past 2 times as our colonel hasn't made a change?
True.
Our company is sitting in the same position as it has been for years. Why vote the same thing that ruined it back into office? We need
Since
fresh
this
meat.
is an open
We need
discussion,
new
I will
people.
interrupt you right here. Look, I was in office 2 times, but
But what
you
did you
have
do?
You have to remember when I was in office, there was no Governor Bain or Lieutenant Governor Leo who actually listened to the people. The leadership back then were Lazarus, Mason, and all of their bootlickers. Any change I tried to do, I was stopped. I tried getting the natives coerced. They stopped me. They warned me. Any other change, charter change, any propositions, plans, they shut down almost every single thing I tried to do. In the end, I did go for a second term, hoping, they would maybe give up, finally let me do something. And 10 days into my term, uh, they decided I was too annoying for them, and instead of just removing me, they went for a fake retirement 10 days
Here,
into my
Harris, weren't you a
tenure.
bootlicker too, considering that you got that high of a rank during their reign?
Listen, I can assure
Truly,
you,
this man is a part of their
I
team.
can assure
He
you,
only
I
wants
was
to
in
get
the
in to ruin
SLC for
us.
4 years. I
Do you
was in
guys
there for
remember when
4
Bane made
years.
it in? He made that change. He made those
Laz and
colonists
Mason
KOS.
only made their
You
friends
can
in high positions.
and ask anyone who was present there or Bane
I
himself.
was
I was
present.
I was in the if I was a bootlicker, I would not have been stuck as the second company major for 2.5 years after winning 2 war games, hundreds of battles and PRs, and being the best company for a straight year and a half. I would not have been major. I would have been some bootlicker that they gave a free rank to. No, I was in there for 2.5 years as a major of then second company. Now it's the first company. I barely ever talked to them. Really, the only time I ever started talking to Lazarus and Mason was when I did win the election. And still, even then, it was only related to SLC. And some of you might remember just how much
Harris,
they endorsed
you
my
were a
end
suck
phase
up
goal.
back then.
Nope,
You stooped
never,
down to their level
never.
and you listened to
If
them.
I was a
You did
suck up,
not fight
I
for this
would not have
company.
been removed. If
You
I
remember
was
the
a
last
bootlicker,
year
I
in your
would not have
company
been
when your
removed.
captain did all of the work?
Never.
When the captain did every
That is
single
just
thing?
complete
You
false
were a
information.
complete suck up.
That
You
is
did
complete
nothing for
false
your soldiers.
information, and I
You were
think
not standing for the people.
that can
You were not
clearly be
standing for
seen
any of us.
since the second
You
company
listen to who's
collapsed
above you.
immediately after I left.
Yeah, because you
Immediately
left it in a
after I left.
position of hostility
No, I
and
was
no
the
forgiveness.
only man holding it together during the time of Northwind, where it was an absolutely dead game. The only thing holding second company together was myself and myself alone, and
Can you prove that though? Because last
every
I checked,
single
the only
day I
proof
poured
is
my time
that
into
when
it,
you were
and
in
every
2C, it
single
was the
day.
slowest company. After the last
For
year
one
of
and a
you
half
as
year,
major,
the most
your captain
unbeatable
was the
company
only
and
one leading you.
militia that ever existed
Not
in
only
Not
are you a
even
liar, you're
SLC's
dishonest.
history.
This man is lying to you all straight
You
in your
can
Where's my
all
face. He
where's
is
my
a
lie.
UBT
suck up and he
funds?
does not
You
want
can
to make
all lie,
changes.
but there's clear evidence if
Where
you
did
go
the
to
money
the war
go?
games. 2 times more. The money,
Truly,
I
where did
gave
the
it
money
to
go?
Providence Law
Provide the
when I
proof.
retired.
It
When
was
I
supposed to be for our
retired,
UBT fund. Remember
we
that? For the
made
UBT
we
instructor.
made exactly 22,500 funds from the Officer Saber tournament,
And we
which
made
I
And where did
gave.
zero.
that go? And where did
I
that go? The
gave
company or your
20.
pockets?
I
Look at
His
gave
your
pocket.
outfit. Look at your outfit
20,000
and
of those pounds.
check out your
I
outfit in
gave
Northwind.
to
Look at all
Providence
the
Law.
cool things you have wearing.
20,000
You
pounds
didn't
went
pay
to
for that. The
Providence
For
Law.
being a
company
Twen-
did.
bootlicker, you have an Espanol made of brass. And
20,000 pounds went to Providence Law, who, when I retired, was supposed to give it out. I don't know what he did with those pounds. I gave him those
Why
pounds because
didn't you
I
give it
retired.
out?
another day.
Another day. That will surely be enough. Surely it will be enough. All right, let one of them speak first now.
This man states he never made any changes. No, he states he did make changes. He states it's their fault that he wouldn't make changes. I don't believe that's true. Do you guys remember Yoshi? He might not have made changes, but he had reign over the whole company. They had the ability to do whatever they want without having to ask a single question. Why didn't this man do that? Why did he not use that power to do
You
the
might
same
ask
thing?
yourself why, because
True.
I
Yoshi
remember.
was a
I
part of the
remember.
swamp. He
I
was a
remember
part of the
when
elite
our
swamp
Yoshi
establishment.
was.
The
You
elite
were too.
swamp establishment, which he had complete permission to do whatever the hell he wanted. If I had that, I would have made all the changes that I wanted.
Gentlemen,
At
this man
every
is a
single
part
step, I
of
was
the line.
blocked. I was blocked
He's
by
a
then
cheat.
Governor
He's a
Lazarus
false.
and Lieutenant Governor Mason.
You pretend to be
At
with the
every
people, but
single
yet you're
step.
against them.
Every single step. Anyone who served during that time could see I was very involved with the company. I was always,
I was serving during
I
this time, and I
always
did not hear from
joined.
this man once.
Nope, that
The
is
only
You
true.
times I
rely
heard
on
of
your
him was when he would post
Maybe,
himself in
maybe
a
the only reason
wheelchair,
that happened
doing
because you were
absolutely
in then
nothing,
first company,
causing a
which was
big image.
absolutely
the
dead.
only
The
way
only,
that you
the
rely
only
on your
reason
5 years of
you
service
ever
to get where
saw
you
me
are.
was because you were in first company and you did nothing as an officer in first company. We can remember the performance of first company, the worst company ever in SLC history for 4 straight years. It was then first company, now 2Cs, 1C, but the then first company, which turned into, I do not know exactly which unit, they turned into some other unit, Highlanders. Worst performing company for 4 straight years. And guess who was one of the main officers in it for such a long time? Yes, never Legacy.
I was an officer under those that were corrupt. Providence Law,
See,
why
now,
is he
if
gone
you
now?
wanted to
Why is
make a
he gone
change, you
now?
could have.
Why is
Why
he
were you
gone now?
inactive? Why were you
How was
inactive?
it? Is there proof
Yes,
of
you
this?
were.
Look at every
I
single
mean, you can
honorable
see
discharge I have.
the
I have
performance.
4 honorable discharges, and each one says every time I came back, I was able to revive. The
Well, of
Bane
course, your
Legacy, the
own
Bane Legacy
friends made those
himself,
discharges.
the
It's
Bane
very
Legacy
convenient when
himself
your own
states that when I
friends made those
rejoined, it
discharges.
connected again.
Surely those friends had no incentive to make a good discharge, right? They would surely not lie to make you look good for whenever you rejoined.
Not at
I
all.
saw the performance of
I
the first.
bring the
Well,
The
culture back.
gentlemen,
performance of the
I
first
have
was
to go.
abysmal.
So I wish you all the best, but I have to leave, unfortunately. But I will leave
I'll
on
take
this
your
note.
spot, Jason. Don't worry.
Shut up, Neon. I haven't seen you in ever.
Okay.
I'll leave on one note. Harris, you're a liar and a fraud.
Yes, exactly. Just
He has nothing to say about
I
this
may interject.
because he
Let's
knows
be so
he's a
for real.
liar.
Never, Harris. Let's be so for real.
he just
Management,
explained himself.
management, and SLC is 50% bullshit. 50% telling other people to do other things.
Truly.
I don't consider that as a viable thing to be based off of. Yeah. All right. If you want to go off of management, fine. But let's be so for real. Half of management is praying that your guys have a free schedule and that their parents allow them to get on. You're not their
Well,
mom.
yes. No one said
You don't
nothing
determine
against
like
that.
when they can get on. So management is pray that you get on or whatnot. Okay. So
Well, no one
also
said anything
Harris,
against that.
I know you mentioned that you were 2C major for a bit and then you left and then things went to shit. Wouldn't that, I mean, in its own sense mean that you did a bad job if everything collapsed that fast after leaving? Like
Oh, look.
I'm pretty sure you know as well that if a company depends on one dude to run it, that's pretty bad. No?
For a straight 2.5 years.
He taught sheep, not leaders.
For a straight two and a
He
half
made them
years,
listen to him
company
and simply only
was
him, no one
tremendous.
else.
The only time the reason why it went downhill was when
It's
Northwood
because
was
he
an
didn't raise
ab-
leaders.
when
No
Northwood
leaders
was
from
at
his
an
company,
absolute,
ever. Not a single
absolute
one.
low
Look at
point.
1C. Every single
Absolute low
member from
point
old
of
1C
the company.
is currently your command.
Absolute
And how
low
is this
point
company
of
doing?
Northwood.
The best. This company
I
has never
made
been
the
better.
company
This man
prosper
brings no
during the
leaders.
worst age
Only
of
sheep.
Northwind.
Do not listen to
The
this man. He
worst
provides
performing.
lies.
Only 100 people max on a
The
weekend were
true
trained there.
leaders of
And
this
I
company
still
are from
managed
1C,
to
not
keep that
2C, because they
alive
all
and
left. They
running
weren't able to
itself.
sufficiently learn and be
During the
taught
best
by this
times,
terrible leader,
I
Harris.
let it run itself. I let that company run itself until Northern was at an absolute abysmal state in
These
the
are
end.
lies.
And I just
Complete
had no more
lies.
motivation to keep it alive.
See, he
The
runs out of
office
motivation
had
quickly.
no more motivation. The game was dead. The developers were not updating it. They were doing nothing. It was an absolute low point, and I still managed
Look
to
at
keep
Bane.
that company
Look at
alive.
Leo.
While
All
the
from
company,
1C.
the
Who's from
company you were
2C?
in, could
Who
not
is from
even rally
2C?
10
Who
people for
is
an
from
inspection.
2C?
The
Who is from
company
2C?
you were in
Leo
could
and
not
Bane and
rally
everyone
even
else, all
10
from
men.
1C.
They
They
could
raised
not even
leaders.
rally
What
10
did Harris
men
rally?
while you were an officer
Provide
in there.
proof for this. Provide proof for this. Can we see
A
this proof?
basic training, a combat training in the
Provide
Grenadiers,
proof
but
for this.
more attendances than the entire First Company
Harris
inspection.
is a fake, and he speaks for himself, not
You
the
are
people.
a fraud, lazy, and incompetent then First Company officer who is now just holding up an AJA position because it's an easy position to hold.
Because
where
I
you can be
believe every
inactive.
member that wants to
Because
rejoin this
you can
group
be-
deserves
Are you
a fair
AJA?
trial.
Why are you AJA? Because you can be inactive. And that's what you were always inactive, and you're going to keep doing that.
Provide proof. Any GD that is from 1C or any other company that says inactive.
You hold that position. You were never on. You never played
You
the game.
hold
You
your
never,
position because you gave up on
never-
this group.
you
You didn't lead them into.
never
You did not
never
lead this group
spoke
ever.
to the people.
You
When-
stooped down to a
When did you talk to
retirement
the people?
position
The
in a
only time you
wheelchair,
started
and you
interacting
cannot
with
speak
the
for
people
anyone.
was when the election started to happen. Before
Why?
that, you never
Because I was
interacted with the
focused on
people.
teaching my men. I was not a part of
You
any other
never
company,
interacted
and
with
I
the
thought it
people.
was best to teach my
And
men.
while arguing
Look at
with you, I
1C
just want
now.
to make a
Look at
quick
1C
vote
now.
about
Before I
Jason.
joined, none
did
of these
not have to
members were
go.
here. They were
He
none
left
of them.
this debate
No
because
true
he could
leaders in
not
that
take the
company.
heat.
Now, the old First Company that has true leaders are here, and First Company today, they just 3-0'd someone. They 3-0'd perfectly.
The
They
current First
absolutely
Company
destroyed them.
is not the First Company you were in. The current First Company is my second company.
Where's Second Company now?
Second company that I led so valiantly for
Where are
such
they?
a long time
Where
turned
are
into
they?
First Company.
Where are they?
They're right there. Take a
Where?
look at them. They're the first.
Provide
They're
images.
the
Let's see.
Scottish.
Where's the old 2C? Where are
What?
the leaders that you
The old
so-called
2C?
made?
I
Where
can
are they?
provide you images of 100-man rallies during the worst times of
I didn't
Northland.
ask that. I didn't ask that.
I can-
Where are the leaders of 2C right now?
Where are they?
they in this?
Where are
Are
they?
they here? Are they in SLC right now?
Where are your leaders? Where are they?
They're at the Bane Legacy, Leo Rage Killer, Scuba Booba, everyone. They
And
are
why do you think
leading
that
this
is?
company
Why do you
because
think that is?
they were raised true leaders just
My
as everyone else
second
was.
Never licked
Where are
up
your
to
leaders?
the boots of the superiors.
Where are your leaders? Remember when you left?
Providence Law, the worst
Yeah,
worst
we got rid of
leader,
him
the
because
worst
he wasn't a
leader
leader.
in
You know who was a
SLC
leader?
promoted
You know who
all
was a
your
leader?
little buddies from
Bane.
the first company.
Bane Legacy.
He picked and cherry-picked only from the first. That is clear corruption.
Are
Nothing
you
else.
saying
Clear corruption.
that Bane Legacy as well as Leo Rage
No.
Killer were promoted by corruption?
Of course
Are
not.
you
I
trash
personally promoted
No,
them.
that is
I
exactly-
promoted them. I promoted those people.
Did you
You
though?
did not.
Where?
I
I
when
thought
was
you got
Colonel.
kicked out of office and
Leo-
then Bane made Colonel.
Leo,
Do you
can
remember that?
confirm. You can confirm, Leo. Who made you major, or was it Lieutenant Colonel? Leo,
I'm not going to comment during debate.
Boom. He does not know.
What was the question? I
You
was
providing
listening.
lies.
you were what?
What was the question?
The question.
Where are your 2C
we're
leaders
talking-
now?
Who? Ask yourself who promoted Bane and Leo, and why are they at the current position right now? Who was
Bane ran
Lieutenant
for Colonel.
under
Do you
me?
guys remember that?
No.
Bane ran for Colonel and he
And he
won.
lost.
He is
He
a
lost.
true leader.
He
He
ran for
won.
Colonel. He lost. I won the first election with a 250 vote
Do you
lead.
remember when you were moved? Because you made no changes. You did absolutely nothing
Nope.
for this company, and they felt you
Only
weren't ready for that
reason
position.
I was
You were
removed
out of that
was
position in
because
minutes.
I did not suck up
Do
to the
anything?
leadership.
Exactly.
I
You
did
did
not
absolutely
suck
nothing.
up to the leadership. I never sucked up to the leadership. That's why I was removed. If I had bootlicked and sucked them off, and
Gentlemen, take a
appealed to
look
all
in
their
1C.
desires and wishes, that
If
would
you
have
were in
simply-
1C, you know
would
this.
never have been removed.
That 1C are saying something called 2C mentality. Why? Because everything that happened in old 2C was nothing. They did nothing. They did
That is
nothing to
completely
gain
false
experience. There's
is-
nothing they did.
And
Wanna
that
know
is very
why?
rich.
And where my
Coming
proof
from
is?
someone who led the worst company
Because
for
they were
4 straight
lazy.
years. worst
Harris left
company.
back, lazy and not working. No leaders. None of them are here
In the
today because
entire
he is not a leader.
history,
He does
in
not
the
teach.
entire
He does not show you how to
of the
improve
first
yourself.
company that you led and were a part of, you did not win a single engagement in
Why
the
did
war
we
game
need to
or
when
any
we
other.
raised leaders? Our
Well,
leaders.
obviously, when you were the one
Why
who
does it
worst
matter in
companies.
those
And
2
why?
weeks?
Because of
2 weeks
inactive,
of loss.
incompetent officers. Because of you.
Are you
Inactive,
calling our current
incompetent
members that
officers.
are way better than the previous governors and lieutenant governors inactive and incompetent? Because last
The
I checked,
current governor and
this company
lieutenant governor
was.
were
What
personally
do you have to say?
promoted by myself. I
Were
promoted
they?
them to the
Do you
positions
have
of
proof of them?
headquarters.
Do you have proof of this? You know what? I will pull up
What
the audit
proof?
logs from the main group to show who actually promoted these soldiers.
Please, I
Okay.
accept their approval. And
Let's
it
do
went
it.
through Lazarus and Mason.
They did it.
Take a look.
Harris, why did you
Please.
promote them
promote them?
again? Like, I'm gonna be so for real. If I remember everything correctly, old First Battalion as a whole had the worst rep throughout like the years of SLC after
Listen,
like it
First
started to be
Battalion was
Gentlemen,
horrible due
he
to
promoted the
Providence law.
first company because they had real leaders. So what if he did? Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. Who knows? But he promoted first company over his own soldiers because we actually had skilled members in this company. We actually were leaders. He left nothing behind, and our company provided what was needed. Noons, Gopit,
If you want me to
Tornado Dude
recall,
at one
when
point,
I went from
Aqua,
Lieutenant Colonel of
Leo,
1st Battalion to
Bane,
Colonel,
everyone.
I promoted the major of then first company because the second was not stable enough to be promoted.
Exactly. He could
He was
not
a
leave a
major.
stable company. He could not leave his company stable.
That's
First
why I
company,
made the
he is
best
not
decision
leader.
possible.
He is
and
not
look
a
at what
leader at
we have.
all.
Look at what we have because of my decision. We have Governor Bain, who is the best governor in the history
Exactly.
of the entire HQ.
He's a true
And that
leader,
is
and
all
Harris is
true.
not. We were
And,
true
that is
leaders in
why
first company,
I saw the
and we
potential.
taught real potential. We had real potential. What did
That
2C
is very
have?
rich coming
Where
from
are
an
they?
inactive,
Where are
incompetent
they?
officer who never did anything for his company.
I
I
did
personally
everything
know
for my
what you did.
company.
The
What
soldiers
did I do?
complained. You never did
Show me.
anything. You were
Show me
inactive.
these complaints.
I have nothing to show because you were never on. You were
Exactly.
inactive.
Exactly. This guy has no proof of me being
Because you were
inactive.
inactive.
I was the most active member
Obviously, I have to
of
prove
first company.
before.
I revived multiple squads over my time, and I can provide images for this. Looking off duty. Everyone,
Obviously,
please,
now you're gonna
please
pull up
take a
the
look. Take a
discharge.
look.
Now you will pull up the discharge log that your friends made for you. Obviously, it's gonna be positive.
Look at these groups. Look at these. Look at these squads. That's not even all of it. Look at these. Within weeks of me being there.
Yeah, I'm sure you're taking
Days.
all that credit. Yeah, absolutely.
Look at these. All of these members. Who brought these members in? I did. What did Harris bring
That's
to us?
complete false
Absolutely
info.
nothing.
Complete false info.
Absolutely nothing.
You
Where are your leaders now,
Absolutely.
Harris? Where are your leaders now?
were my leaders now.
Where are your leaders now? Quit avoiding
Where
this.
am I?
Where are your leaders now?
First Battalion
Where are they?
is my child. My leaders, they're the governor. They're the
I
lieutenant
didn't
governor.
ask that.
You
Were
asked
you
it.
1C or
I
were you
raised
2C?
them. I
Were you 1C
selected
or
them.
were you 2C?
I was
Did
First
you though? Were
Battalion.
you 1C
I
or were
was
you 2C?
Lieutenant Colonel of First Battalion.
you though?
I was
Were you the?
the First Battalion, and they were all
But
mine.
did you do
You were
anything?
all my
I didn't.
officers. You were all
As
my
an
officers.
officer in first company under your reign, I did not hear from you once. I think
Yeah,
Providence
you
law
did not hear
is
from me
much
once
better than
because
you.
you were never on. You were never on to hear from me
I
once.
was
think
always on. Take a look at my
members
discharge
of your-
there.
Nope.
Who
nope.
are
You're
you?
obviously your
Are
friends.
you a true leader? Are you an image just to fill that rank
Your
and cover it?
friends, obviously.
You
And
are
look at this.
nothing.
As the glorious captain of MFP just pointed out, he sees multiple barred people in those images.
You want to
which
know
just
why they were
proves-
barred?
which just
Because I
proves
felt
the type of
I
people you
deserve to
were
have
bringing
better
in.
men in my squad
type
rather than
of
these barred
people-
people. I'm
type
the
of
ones who
people you were
reported them.
bringing in. The type of people you were bringing in, it's horrible. The criminals,
Yes,
merges.
and
Yep.
I am the
That's
one
all
that got
we
rid
were
of them.
saying.
Remember that. I'm the one that got rid of them. How did you get rid of your guys? By not letting them be leaders, by controlling
That
them
is
and
completely false.
possessing them.
information.
Is it though?
That is
Where are your
completely,
people now?
Absolutely
Where are your people
ridiculous.
now then? Where
That's
are
the
your people
complete-
now then?
Absolutely.
Where are your people now then?
ridiculous
Tell me this.
claim.
Where
That's-
are
where
your
are they?
people now?
Got
Where
the
are they?
governor and the lieutenant. They're right there. You can take a look. Look, Leo.
But did you promote
Hey.
them?
Yes.
They are from 1C. They are not from 2C.
I
Just remember
promoted
that.
them.
And that
I
is
led the
time.
first and the second, and they're
That
both
is time.
mine.
That is
See?
time.
I promoted them.
He is
Alright,
angry.
So
That is absolutely false.
we will continue this debate in a future date. For now, thank you everyone for attending, and we'll do a Q&A next time. For right now, the Q&A
I
will be
speak the
after.
truth.
The Q&A will be at the second one, alright? So thank you guys for watching, and we will be back later on. Thank you.
Have a good evening, everyone.